setup. So it has that 12 megapixel wide angle lens, 12 megapixel telephoto lens, 16 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, then a 0.3 megapixel depth sensor. And this camera lens overall is a very solid lens for sure. It's still a very good camera, even though since then we've gotten 8K capability and all these other things. This is by far still a really good camera, and I think a majority of you will probably end up knowing that. This camera, obviously 4K at 60, 1080p up to 240, which I don't know why anybody won't do that, but you have that, capability of zooming in a lot, zooming out a lot, and having that wide angle lens. As I always mention, this is like the most important thing I always say, you need to have those type of camera setups in this day and age. If you don't, you are already outdated. If you don't have an ultra-wide and telephoto, luckily for you with this specific lens, you have that capability by default. So that is a very important thing to keep in mind. And I really do think that is one of the most important things that this phone has going for it is the camera. You also have a 10 megapixel front facing camera, 4K at 60. And again, you have a very good camera on the front and the back. On top of this One UI, you obviously know how I feel about One UI, not my favorite cup of tea, but it does have a lot of features within the camera app, and that is one thing I cannot take away from this device. You have a very good piece of software when it comes down to the camera. Everything else, I'm not the biggest fan of, but you have a lot of features when it comes down to this camera. So when it comes down to that, I will definitely say the camera is one of my favorite things about the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus in 2021 for sure, 100% fact.